Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, it's wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me. To make my pattern, I'm just using a black plastic garbage bag, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the join at the top here so I can open it out. According to the reference picture that I'm working off, it's just your neck that's going to go like that with your shoulders that go down, and it's just going to be going straight down to the waist and then straight down again, just like that. And so there's nothing holding it together, so I'm going to be putting the long piece in on the side because it's quite a raunchy outfit and it goes joined just at the hip there. So I'm making this just straight. I'm quite small, so the measurements that I'm going to be giving you, you'll just have to alter according to your size. So where I've got it folded over twice, where we've got the double fold over here, I'm just measuring in 7 centimeters and then 7 centimeters down. I'm not an expert at doing patterns, but this is the way I do it. And then we're just going to join those two lines together at a slight curve, just like that. And from the end here, I'm going in by 20 centimeters and drawing another line just over there, which is my shoulder width. And from the top part, where we've marked the 20 centimeters, I'm going to be going down by 50 centimeters and just marking it there. And then from the outside over here to the 50 centimeter mark, I'm going in by 20 centimeters. And at the bottom here, I'm going in by 25 centimeters. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the lines to attach them. So that's pretty much what the pattern looks like. And I'm just going to cut that out and see if it fits. Make sure that you folded your plastic correctly. So you want to have a join closed piece at the top here, and that's the closed piece over here, which we're going to be cutting out so that when we open it out, it's all in one piece. And then just cut the bottom closure off as well. So now I'm going to open it out. So we've got the neck, and then I'm going to fold it in the opposite direction. I've opened it all out and folded it, and now as you can see, the neck is folded in half like that. And now we're just going to make the front. You can choose either side to do it because they're exactly the same. So I'm just marking down 2 centimeters on the one side, putting a mark there, and then keeping it in line so that it doesn't go past the join. So the circle goes exactly like that, and then we're going to cut that out, and that will be the front. Personally, I'm quite happy with the way this is fitting. If however you want to have it a little bit more raunchy and expose more of your leg, instead of going out by the 25 centimeters over here, just take it straight down. But I want a bit of my legs covered, so that's why I've gone out a wee bit further. Now we can transfer our pattern to the material. I'm using this plain gold shiny material for this outfit, and because it's really wide, I'm just folding over 30 centimeters, and then I'm going to be cutting that off so that when I fold it over, I've got the right size. I've cut it all off now, so now I've got from the gold part, I've measured it, so I've got the 30 centimeters because I only need 20 and 25. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take it and we're going to fold it over itself like that, so that we've got the top part where you've got this, the join here and the double seam at the top. And now we can cut our pattern out on there. Because I don't want my body exposed too much, I'm using this really beautiful gold stretchy material, which I'm just going to be cutting 2 strips of 15 centimeters, which I'm going to be sewing down the side of it. I'm using EVA foam, and this particular one is only it's an old yoga mat, and what I'm doing is I'm marking 2 centimeter strips, and I'm going to be cutting out 6 strips at 2 centimeters. I'm going to be using a pair of scissors to cut this because it gives me a cleaner finish. I've got my 6 little pieces cut out, and now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be placing them underneath the material, and then I'm going to just sew those in so that I've got a ridge, and I'm just doing it on the sides at the bottom of the skirt, and then I'm going to put another one along the bottom, but I'm actually going to be encasing that one into some more material because this was just a little bit short for me. And the other piece that I'm going to be putting in is just on the shoulders here, so that it can support the big pieces. Because my yoga mat has got texture on it, I'm going to be using the smooth side facing on the outside, so that I'm placing these underneath like that. So this one is facing towards my body. I'm taking my little insert, and I've got the right side facing down, and where I've pinned my EVA foam, I'm going to be sewing this at the same time with the EVA foam. I'm going to be using my zip foot to do that, so I'm just going to sew that all down on both sides. That one, and then that one. I've just got a spare piece of material, which is the full length of my width of the material, and I've cut it at 32 centimeters, and now I'm just going to put a wee hem on the top and on the bottom, because this is going to be the side piece. I'm taking some of my stretchy fabric that we've used on the sides, and I'm just making a trim to go around the neck. So I've just used the overlock and sewed it together, opening it out and then sewing it on. Now I'm going to take the overlocker and just sew all the way around to give me my neck. I've made my little pocket for my EVA foam, and I've just sewed using an overlock machine the sides together, and now I'm going to flip that inside out and then insert the little piece of EVA foam into there, and then I'm going to sew that to the bottom of my little tunic. And once again making sure that I've got the smooth side facing outward. I've sewed it to the bottom like that, so with the overlock, and then I've just tacked it on to make it so that it's nice and straight, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I've got the neck and all the arm pieces all in place. So now I'm working on the other side. I'm working off this particular reference picture, and as you can see, the costume has got like stripes because I don't have, my material is just plain gold. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be drawing illusions on it. So I'm going to be copying the exact same pattern all over my outfit, just like that. So looking at the design of the costume, I'm going to be drawing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines on this side going in that direction, and on this side I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines as well going like that, and then we're going to do them going in the opposite direction. So going opposite, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going 5 lines down and 5 lines up, and then we'll get to this pattern here. I'm using a ruler that's width is 3 centimeters, so I don't have too much measuring to do, and I'm working on the side pieces. They go underneath the arm, so I'm just placing them at an angle like that so I can get the shape. And I'm going to be using this silver Sharpie to just try and draw some illusion on it. So all I'm doing is taking my Sharpie and drawing the lines that go like that. not very noticeable on the camera. I'll bring it closer and show you. And then going in the opposite direction as well. So as you can see, there's a very small subtle difference, but it does make it look like they have got the pleats on it. So going a wee bit closer, you can't actually notice it closer, so far away is actually better. I'm going to do the whole costume like that. I've got all the lines going around this way, and now we're working on the centerpiece. So all I'm doing is I'm taking my ruler and lining up the lines and just drawing a straight line to join those ones. And then I'm taking from the bottom section here to about halfway on the center of the long one that we've just done. So going about halfway, I'm just going to draw a line going like that. And each of the lines is ascending, so the next one we're going to do just a little bit higher as well, so that when it gets to this one, it's pretty much lying in the middle of that line. And just draw all the lines in. And then all I'm doing is I'm darkening some of the sections, like here, where I'm making the lines just a little bit thicker so that it looks like it's got a bit of shadow, so that they look like they're standing up. So this one here is quite a thick looking line, so just darken it just a wee bit. So that's all I'm doing, just to make them look like they're standing up. Sorry, it's very difficult to see with this really shiny gold material, but that's what I've done to make them look like they're standing up. I've got my little side pieces measured and prepared to the size that they need to be, and now I'm going to just sew. I'm going to hand sew this one into the back, and I'm doing both of them the same, and then I'm going to be putting double-sided tape onto the front part of it, because I've got quite a large back but quite a small waist, and this material doesn't have any give in it, so I can't actually sew it in, otherwise I won't get the outfit on. I've taken my double-sided velcros and sliced it down the middle so that I can get thinner strips, and I've just sewed them onto the sides like that, so when my little gold piece goes in, it'll just close like this. And there's this little side piece that goes in. Very difficult to see on this shiny material, but I've drawn all the patterns in the top as well, and I've glued my little bolt on. So my little tunic is completed now. I've made some templates of the shoulder pieces, and I've just made them out of newspaper, and I'm going to be transferring the design onto my EVA foam and then cutting those out and then painting them with Mars Black acrylic paint. I'm taking a piece of chalk and just lining up my pieces so that I can start gluing them together, and I'm going to be using contact adhesive to do this, so I just need to mark them and then apply the contact adhesive to both surfaces. And I'm just taking a spare piece of EVA foam and just spreading it. And just wait 2 minutes until it gets a wee bit tacky, and then squish them together. It's all tacky now, so now I'm going to be placing it into its position. So when you measure, just don't touch each other and just place it on, because once it touches, it just sticks. And just apply a wee bit of pressure. So there's my one shoulder pad done. I'm going to do the same to the other one. I've also cut the belt out, and I've gone for a 6cm wide belt, and I'm going to be painting that with Mars Black as well. One of the spare pieces of EVA foam, I'm just going to draw a lightning bolt. The size of my lightning bolt is, from top to bottom, is 8cm. And I'm going to paint that Mars Black as well. To make part of the belt, I'm going to be using these EVA floor foam mats, and these ones are 2cm wide. And all I'm going to be doing is cutting them down to 5cm, and I'm going to do the strips at the same height because I don't want it to be too deep, so I'm going to make them 2cm wide. To cut my EVA foam, I'm just using a very, very sharp knife, and it cuts through it quite nicely. And I'm going to be beveling two sides. So all I'm doing is I'm taking my pair of scissors and placing it at an angle like that, and just cutting that small piece off. So that it gives me a bit of a rounded look. And I'm doing it on the other side as well. So my pieces look like that, and I'm cutting 4 of them, and then I'm going to be gluing them together. I've got all my pieces shaped and rounded how I want them, and now I'm going to paint them all Mars Black. I'm just going to be painting the tops of them and the 2 sides and the fronts. I'm not going to worry about in between. So that's all I'm painting. All my little pieces are dry now, and now I'm going to take some of this quick grip contact adhesive, and I'm going to stick them all together. With contact adhesive, you need to apply it on both sides, so I'm going to put a wee bit like that, and then I've just got a spare piece of EVA foam that I'm just going to be spreading it all over, just like that. And then, as I said, you need to do all the sides that need to be glued, and then wait for them to get a wee bit tacky before you put them together. I've got them all glued together, and now I'm going to be taking some of this silver metallic paint, and I'm just going to decant some of it, and I'm going to be using a little sponge just like this, and I'm going to be dabbing the silver paint on. So take most of the paint off so you don't get too much paint, and then just start dabbing it on so you can get a nice silvery finish. I'm not getting a solid colour, I want it to just look like that, so I'm doing the tops as well. So that's the front of my buckle, and now I'm going to be doing the same on the actual belt. And just do the whole belt like that. Don't forget to do the sides of the belt as well. So there's my belt done. To secure my belt, I've got some velcros, and it's the one that's got the sticky backing on it, but I find when you put it onto EVA foam it doesn't stick very well. So what I'm doing is I'm just measuring a piece. I'm going to cut it off, and then I'm going to be using contact adhesive to glue that down as well. So I'll just put some on quick. And I'm peeling the backing off as well and putting contact behind this as well. I've put this spiky sharp side down on this one because this one's going to be wrapping over underneath when the belt crosses over like that. And then just measure the belt around your waist, cut the excess off. So my belt is like that, so it's going to wrap around like that. Now I put the velcros on this side, and I'm going to put another piece of velcros on that side to hold it down, because now what I'm going to do is I'm taking the little piece like that, and I'm going to be putting some contact adhesive on there so it can hold that in place. And then I'll touch up where I've trimmed off. So I've marked exactly where this is going to be positioned, and I've marked on the inside and on the belt where the other piece of velcros is going to go, and on this side as well. I'm just going to put the velcros on top of that and then glue it down, so we can glue that all together now. And then we just wait for that to dry a wee bit. And now I'm just going to do the velcros so that my little piece is in the middle of my belt like that. So that's the position where the velcros is going. So I'm just doing the velcros now. Make sure you get the corners of the velcro so it doesn't lift. And we wait for that to dry a wee bit. And there's my belt completed. And now I'm going to take some Brilliance liquid floor polish, and I'm going to paint all my pieces with that to seal the paint and to give them a really nice shine. I'm just using a paintbrush to paint the polish on. And then just paint all your pieces like that. I'm putting the polish on my little lightning bolt as well. To make the gloves, I've just bought these cheap like rubber gloves, and all I'm going to be doing is putting it onto my hand. I'm going to be using this super chrome and spraying it onto my glove. So I've left it on my hand, and I'm going to spray it so that I can do it by rotating my hand. So that's what it looks like. And then I'll do the other side. So that's what my glove looks like. So I've got it done on both sides now. And I'll be making the top piece. To do my gloves, I'm going to mark into the center of my hand, so just on the center there, in the middle of that finger, and then it goes all the way out to pretty much the wrist. And then I'm going to connect those lines and paint this section black. This is going to need 2 coats because I'm painting acrylic paint onto spray paint, and it doesn't take very well, but that's what I'm doing for my gloves. I've taken a piece of newspaper and just wrapped it around my arm so that I can get the shape that I want, and now I'm just going to take that off and cut it out onto some EVA foam so that it lies flat on my arm. I've got it still attached to my arm, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be just cutting a pattern in it like this so that I can cut it, and then when we attach it we just put a piece of velcros on each of those pieces and it will lie flat. I've cut my gloves out onto my EVA foam and now I'm going to paint them black. I've painted them both black now, and at the top and all the way around the sides I've left a 5mm gap so that I can glue my gold material onto that, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. To seal the paint I'm going to be using Brilliant's liquid floor polish, and all I'm doing is taking my paintbrush and just going to paint it all over the pieces. To do the gold trim around my glove I'm going to be using the same material that I used for my tunic, and all I'm using is hot glue, and I'm going to be gluing it around the sides like that. Where I've got the little pocket where it folds over like that, all I'm doing is I'm taking my pair of scissors and just cutting that off so that it can lie flat, and I'm doing that all the way around and on the back as well. I've got the front all done, and now I'm just going to flip it over and do the back the same. Back is just a little bit easier because you can just put one blob there. And there's my gold trim all placed onto my glove. And then I'm just trimming the excess off the bottom. And now we stick the velcros on. So when we close our piece up, it's going to be closing like that. So now the velcros is going to have to go underneath this section here. So it's pretty much gluing it on the actual velcro so that you can get it to fit like that. So I'm taking some of the soft one, and I'm going to be placing one piece there, a piece there, and a piece there, and just gluing them down with hot glue as well. I'm only putting this small piece in the center one. I've cut some of the pieces of the hook side, and as I said, it's a bit of a tricky one because we've got to place them upside down. So I'm leaving the plastic on because this is really, really sticky, and I'm just cutting the excess plastic off on the sides. And now we're going to be gluing these ones upside down like that. So gluing into the hook. Just checking to see it's in the right position. And then we do the same with the next one, and we glue all three pieces like that. I'm just using the selvage edge of the gold material to cut little strips out so that I can take the paper off and put the material on there, so it's a little bit more comfortable to wear. So I've just peeled the tape back, and I'm going to be placing these on now. And then I'll just trim the excess off. I've got it completely finished now, and when you put it on, easiest way to put it on is to attach the top velcros, and then you can attach the middle one if you think you can get your hand in, and then just slide your hand through and then attach the bottom one like that. So that's your glove. To attach the shoulder pieces to the tunic, I'm just using some velcros, and I put the hook side one down onto the actual tunic because that's the sticky one. And now I'm going to take some hot glue as well, and I'm just going to glue the little bolt onto the tunic like that. So on the shoulder pieces, I've glued the velcros, I don't think you can see this, in exactly the same position, oh, there you go, as where it's going to attach to the shoulder pads. And then the next piece is going to be glued just above the belt to hold, so just here, to hold the big pieces that are going to be coming down like that. And that's my outfit completed. So you can't really notice the silver on it, but anyway, it goes like that. So that's what it looks like. And then there are the gloves. You can pick up a bit of the reflection in this one. That's how I made my magenta, but you could probably use the same principle to make Riff Raffs outfit as well.
Give it here. us go down the river of night streaming. A border in. Mafia slow, let the sunlight come streaming into my life, into my Dad doing nothing in the background. No, I'm joking.
If you found this video helpful or you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate it if you would subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.